Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm going to explain to you how one line in Dune 2021, Timothy Chalamet's Dune, Zendaya's Dune, and Sharon Duncan Brewster's Dune perfectly explains every dungeon master and every dungeon performer today. Every real dungeon master and every real dungeon performer today. All right, let's go. So what is the line? So I recently saw Dune 2021. I think it was the 7th time I've seen it, but it was the first time I saw it on IMAX, and it was a reissue. They reissued Dune this year, so I just saw it about a week ago on IMAX, and I was absolutely stunned when there was a line in the film that absolutely perfectly described every dungeon master and every real dungeon master and every real dungeon performer. So let's get the line. All right. So Paul Atreides. The line, So Paul Atreides is running from the Sardaukar. The Harkonnen. The Emperor has given 2 battalions, I think, of Sardaukar 3. I think it was 3. 3 battalions to the Harkonnen to end the Atreides family, the House Atreides. So at this point, they've captured, the Harkonnen have captured Leto Atreides, and Paul Atreides and his mother are swept up by Dr. Liet Kynes. And Dr. Liet Kynes is an imperial servant, and she is also a Fremen, okay? And so she's helping Paul escape the Sardaukar and remain alive, right? And so they're in these Fremen under tunnels, escaping, where Paul Atreides lived on Arrakis. And they get to a point where Paul's mother and Paul are with Dr. Liet Kynes, and they're running for their lives from the Sardaukar. And Paul's like, chill, it's okay, I got it, right? He's like, don't worry, mother. Don't worry, Dr. Liet Kynes. Don't worry, Duncan, Idaho. That's everybody who's there. I will marry one of the Emperor's daughters, and then I'll change the Empire, right? He says that in a bunch of words, but that's essentially what he says. And Dr. Liet Kynes looks at him, and she says, you are a lost boy hiding in a hole in the ground, right? And what she's saying is like, what are you talking about? You can't change anything. She's like, you are a lost boy hiding in a hole in the ground. And I was like, that's it. That is it. Every dungeon master today, and it doesn't matter if you're a boy, doesn't matter if you're a girl, that line is, you are a lost boy, because she's talking to Paul and he identified as a boy. If Paul had been a girl, she would have said a girl, right? So for us, it applies if you're a girl dungeon master or a boy dungeon master. The only reason that's gendered is she was talking to a boy, right? But she says, you are and I'm gonna use that language going forward, but I did want to explain that everything I'm saying refers to any real dungeon master and any real dungeon performer, and that can be a boy dungeon master or a girl dungeon master. Okay, all right. So she says, you are a lost boy hiding in a hole in the ground, right? And so Dr. Liet Kynes represents the world. The world looks at the real dungeon masters and real dungeons and performers and says, look at you silly people telling little stories in your basement. That's the way we've been seen since 1974, and it has not changed. The world still sees us as a lost boy hiding in a hole in the ground, okay? But you and I know the truth. We are the rightful emperor. We are the future emperor. We are the future emperor. And right now, we are princes. And right now, we have the voice. And right now, we see the future, the past, and the present all as one. Every dungeon master, every real dungeon master today is Paul Atreides. Every real dungeon performer today is Paul Atreides. We have the voice. The prophecies are about us. We are the future of Earth, exactly as Paul Atreides was the future of Arrakis. And not only was Paul the future of Arrakis, he was the future of the Empire and of every star he could see and not see, right? And this is the point. In 1974, it happened. Don't miss it. Realize what you inherit when you put on the Dungeon Master crown. You get the voice. You get the nobility. You are the future emperor. The world looks at you and thinks you are a lost boy hiding in a hole in the ground. They think, oh, you're just playing elves in your mom's basement. That's cute. I'm the future emperor. You are the future emperor. I lead now, right? Dungeons and Dragons has made me a leader in my life. I lead many things, right? And why? A couple years ago, I got a leadership role, and I didn't even ask for it. Like, the people were like, oh, clearly Scott should be the leader of this, right? And I was like, I wonder why that happened. And it took me about 3 seconds to realize I was building worlds when I was 12, right? And since then, I've strived to understand literally every single aspect of humanity. And what really makes me excited is, I know this sounds like hubris when I say it to you. I'm nothing, right? I'm nothing compared to what others are going to do with Dungeons and Dragons. What others are already starting to do with Dungeons and Dragons, right? And the thing is, the world looks at us and they think we are a lost boy hiding in a hole in the ground. We are the future emperor. Why? Because Gary Gygax set it in stone in 1974. He said, here's an identity engine. Lorraine will turn it into an achievement engine. And in 2024, it will become a protection engine. Dungeons and Dragons is like nothing that has ever struck. It is a cultural comet. And what it really is a filter for the most charismatic, confident, intelligent people in the world. And right now, there ain't a scriptwriter in Hollywood that hasn't spent 100 hours in Dungeons and Dragons. And the reality is, Dungeons and Dragons, the best people are connected. It's the way it is. We are the future emperor. That is the truth. We are. Every real dungeon master is Paul Atreides. Every real dungeon performer is Paul Atreides. Somebody the world thinks is a lost boy hiding in a hole in the ground. No, we are the future emperor. We shape reality. We determine the future of America, and America determines the future of the world. Every single real dungeon master, every single real dungeon performer is Paul Atreides, and we have the voice. Every single word you just heard in my Bene Gesserit voice is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. What's important is when I hear your voice. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.